Tim Kawakami just dropped a quote that's going to make Warriors fans furious and Raptors fans very, very interested. So basically, Golden State's own insider is saying the front office might already be looking past Steph Curry, and that opens a door we never thought would actually be open. In this video, we're breaking down the report on Steph Curry's situation in Golden State, why a move to Toronto is actually more realistic than people think given his personal ties to this city. And we're going through the exact trade package Yahoo Sports proposed that would send him to the Raptors. Before we get into it, quick shout out. We're closing in on our next subscriber milestone on this channel, and I genuinely did not expect this offseason to give us a Steph Curry storyline on top of everything else we've been covering. We've been putting out daily uploads, just trying to keep pace with this stuff. So if you're not subscribed yet, hit that button, turn on notifications so you don't miss a single thing, because if this Curry situation actually develops, you are going to want to have been here from the beginning. All right, so let's dive into it. Starting with the report, Tim Kawakami said on the TK show that Warriors ownership wants to, in his words, build the next team after Steph Curry, adding that this might get Warriors fans mad, but that's genuinely the direction ownership is thinking. Kawakami wasn't saying Golden State is punting on Curry's remaining years, but he made it clear that Lacob has a real interest in showing what this organization can do, both with Curry and after him. And on top of that, Marcus Thompson of The Athletic has reported that Curry himself is growing tired of the mediocrity around him and wants an actual chance at competing for a championship again. So you've got the guy at the very top of the organization thinking about life after Steph. And Steph himself reportedly frustrated with where the team currently stands. That combination is not something you can just brush off. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking. There's no way Steph Curry ever leaves Golden State. He's a lifer. He's the greatest shooter of all time. He's built his entire legacy there. And normally I'd agree with you completely. But let's actually talk about why Toronto specifically makes more sense than people want to admit. Steph's wife, Ayesha Curry, was born right here in Toronto. This is her hometown. Steph's dad, Dell Curry, played for our Raptors back in the day, so there's already a real family connection to this organization that goes back decades. And on top of that, Steph and Drake have one of the most well-documented friendships in all of sports. Drake's been in Steph's corner publicly for years. So this isn't some random speculative fit. There's an actual personal thread here connecting Steph Curry to this city that most players linked to Toronto simply don't have. And can we just sit with the basketball fit for a second? Because Steph Curry playing alongside Kawhi Leonard would be an absolutely terrifying combination for the rest of the league. You'd have arguably the greatest shooter to ever live spacing the floor for Kawhi to operate downhill. And on the other end, you've got Kawhi's length and defensive instincts covering for whatever Steph gives up on that side of the ball at this stage of his career. Personally, I think that pairing alone would make us an immediate top 4 team in the East, and that's before even factoring in what Scotty Barnes brings as a connector piece between the two of them. Let's talk numbers for a second, because Steph Curry heading into next season isn't some washed up name we'd just be adding for nostalgia. He's still one of the most efficient offensive players in the entire league. He's huge, still shooting at an elite clip from 3, still capable of taking over a fourth quarter by himself, the way he's done for over a decade now. He's entering the season at 38 years old, sure, and there are real questions about wear and tear given how much he's carried that franchise offensively over the years. But this is still a former unanimous MVP we're talking about, not a declining role player. Pairing a shooter of his caliber with a defense-first roster like ours, one that already has size and length in Kawhi and Scotty, is the kind of fit that could genuinely paper over some of his age-related concerns on the defensive end. Now let's actually break down the trade Yahoo Sports proposed, because this is where it gets real for a second. In their first option, the Raptors would send out Immanuel Quickley at $32.5 million, RJ Barrett at $29.6 million, a 2028 first-round pick, a 2030 first-round pick, a 2027 second-round pick, and a 2029 second-round pick. In exchange, we'd get Steph Curry at his full $62.6 million salary. And look, I want to be honest with you guys. That is a massive haul going the other way. We love Immanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett on this channel. We've talked about both of them all season as key pieces of this young core. And giving up nearly all of our remaining future draft capital on top of that is genuinely painful to even type out. But think about what you're getting back. This is Steph Curry, a two-time MVP, four-time champion, the single greatest shooter the sport has ever seen, walking into a Raptors jersey next to Kawhi Leonard and Scotty Barnes. I keep going back and forth on this because part of me hates the idea of moving on from Quickley and RJ, guys we've watched grow into real contributors, but the other part of me knows that windows like this do not come around twice. If Steph Curry is genuinely available, and there's a version of this front office aggressive enough to get a deal like this done, I think you have to at least seriously consider it. Worth mentioning too, Yahoo's report actually laid out a second version of this trade as well. One that would also send out Al Horford's $6.8 million expiring deal alongside Steph in exchange for Quickley, Barrett, Jacoby Walter, Allen Graves, and a 2028 second-round pick without touching the bigger future first-round picks. So there's actually some flexibility in how a deal like this could get structured depending on how aggressive both front offices want to be and how much Golden State prioritizes taking back young, cost-controlled talent versus just stockpiling future draft capital for that post-Curry rebuild Kawakami was talking about. We've talked all summer about this front office trying to build something real around Kawhi and Scotty, and this would be the single boldest swing they could possibly take. It's one thing to go get a Kawhi Leonard through a trade built on draft capital and change of scenery. It's a completely different thing to pry a franchise cornerstone like Steph Curry away from the only team he's ever known. I don't think Golden State does this easily, and I don't think Steph himself makes this decision lightly either, considering everything he's built out in the Bay. But if Lacob really is thinking about life after Curry the way Kawakami suggests, and if Steph really is as frustrated as Thompson's reporting indicates, this stuff can move fast once a superstar actually decides he wants out. And I think it's worth remembering we've actually been down this road before, with this front office being aggressive around Kawhi and Scotty. We've covered plenty of bold trade proposals on this channel this summer, from the Lou Dort pursuit to various star packages being floated involving Quickley and Barrett. And this front office has made it pretty clear through its actions, not just its words, that it's willing to move real assets to build a genuine contender. So even if this exact Steph Curry package doesn't happen, I don't think it's crazy to expect Toronto to keep being aggressive on the trade market as long as Golden State's situation stays unsettled. Here's the question I want answered honestly in the comments. Would you actually do this trade? Would you give up RJ Barrett, Immanuel Quickley, and basically all of our remaining draft capital to bring in Steph Curry alongside Kawhi and Scotty? Or is that simply too steep a price for a 38-year-old on an expiring deal, no matter how legendary he is? I go back and forth on this myself depending on the day, and I think this fan base is going to be genuinely split on it. We've obviously got a lot still developing this offseason, from the Kawhi investigation to whatever ends up happening with DeMar DeRozan, and now potentially this. If even a fraction of this Steph Curry smoke turns into real fire, this could end up being the single craziest storyline of the entire summer. And that's saying a lot given everything else we've already covered on this channel. Look, I don't think this trade happens tomorrow. And honestly, I'm not even sure it happens at all. But the fact that we're able to have this conversation with real reporting behind it, not just fan fantasy, tells you how unpredictable this Warriors situation has actually become. Steph Curry to the Raptors sounded like pure fantasy football talk a month ago, and now we're sitting here breaking down an actual proposed trade package. We'll see what happens. Appreciate everybody pulling up for this one. As always, if this got you thinking, do me a favor and hit subscribe so you don't miss it if this Steph Curry situation actually starts moving. Drop your answer in the comments. Would you actually make this trade? Until next time, I'm signing off. Cheers.